couple of questions from the top, and then a couple of questions from the middle.
Yep.
Does that work?
Yep.
Yep, you're in charge, Elaine, so just go for it.
Okay, is it started?
It's recording, yeah.
Okay, so to begin with, what was the most memorable moment from yesterday? So this is Thursday, so we're talking about Wednesday.
So that was 2 classes in the library and then the Millimani school in the afternoon. As everybody gets the awkward.
I think it was going to the school in the afternoon and just the kids' reaction to us being there and how they interacted with us was
overwhelming.
Yeah, that was memorable for me, definitely.
Felt like a rock star.
I like the engagement in the library with the younger learners. The fact that they were asking questions related to the book and focused and just generally happy to be there.
And they were good at the challenge because they weren't buying that
Brenda was
a sheep at all, and they were able to give the challenge more than the afternoon lot were able to challenge that.
100%. That was the difference. Their confidence and their articulation compared to the afternoon kids. They were like, oh, maybe Brenda is a sheep, but they were like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Like they were using
So when
quotes.
we were driving, I can't remember where we were, but John asked us that were in the car with him and Vincent. He asked you, Heather, didn't he? That what was the difference? Did you see a difference between the kids in the morning and the afternoon?
And I said I didn't think it was as much as it was, but kind of at that point I was still processing, and I actually think that I was thinking about the contrast between the kids here, generally, both the library in the morning and the afternoon, and our bairns back here.
Yeah.
So that for me was just the sheer.
So I think for me it's always that nuance bit. So the kids in the morning go to a fee-paying private school and the kids in the afternoon is a public school. Now I know we didn't see the school, but if you think about the school at Millimani in the afternoon with its basically mud floors and
no resources,
no resources, wooden style, kind of old Victorian style wooden benches and stuff like that.
Right, you know, like the artwork was like using like sanitary towel boxes, and that wouldn't have happened at home, you know, like, but they were just happy to have any sort of cardboard that was given. So
And work on their instruments and arming, because it was like open tin cans, health and safety would have a fit about it here. But the bairns were so chuffed to be there. They'd made Kenny on guitar thing, and they made it with a lot of materials. So
I think as well, you notice things. My response to John when he asked the question was, it's those little nuanced things that you might not notice. So the girls at the private school had really nice braids and bunchies and pigtails and plaits and stuff like that, and their uniforms were smart and tidy, and they were wearing shoes that fit them. Whereas at the other school, you know, they're all wearing uniform, and from a distance they look smart and tidy, but actually if you look a bit closer, their collars are raggedy.
Shoes were the wrong sizes, there was no laces in a lot of them.
It was well worn.
Well worn,
I found
definitely.
the girls more vocal in the morning than the afternoon. You know, like the boys were more animated in the afternoon than they were in the morning.
There was definitely more confidence in the girls in the morning.
Queens were everywhere confident.
One difference though that we probably all noticed was the teaching staff. So I thought in the morning they were much less engaged with what was going on. But the staff in the afternoon were a bit more involved, and they were checking on the children and interacting with Emily as well. But in the morning they didn't.
One of the teachers actually left them to gluten her phone.
That's right.
She was not interested in the slightest, and she kept like being quite negative with him, not very nurturing. But in the afternoon, my thing was how glamorous the teacher was in the afternoon. How she could walk about in them heels all day.
I know,
and not look sweaty and dirty like the rest of it.
But I would be taking that back to my work in Scotland. There's no way I'm walking around the academy in high heels.
And I suppose, like, I don't know, but it wasn't really introduced to the second man, but the first man was obviously the head teacher.
Yes.
He was quite casual. He wasn't like, he seemed quite easygoing, quite like, kids seemed like they liked him.
No, he was one of the class teachers, because I asked him, so when we went into the class I said, is this your class? And he said, no, I'm in grade 5, but because there's quite a few teachers we swap around.
Him with the suit?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
So my experience of the like that in teaching in Kenya is that teachers will just, you know, you know, if we've got a personal appointment, you have to like book time off, or you take flexi or something like that. The teachers in Kenya just go, and their class is just left to their own devices for the day or the half day or whatever that they're there, and it's pretty normal. So leaving a class to get on with their work is just expected. One of the more sensible pupils in the class might take the class, but they are just left to their own devices, and so you don't really know what learning's happening.
I think another part of memorable for yesterday was the singing in the second in the classroom bit.
Yeah.
It was so animated, so passionate. They were all,
and they
like,
all getting into
enjoying
it.
it. Whereas I suppose, like you, I was comparing it to back where we live, and the kids are just not interested and made to sing songs that they've got no connection with.
I think there a lot of them are like worried about their appearance or what others think of them. The good thing about yesterday was they just
happy
were happy and wanted to express themselves without worrying about what they look like.
And there's no interaction with the wider world from anywhere for them to be having that, you know, like everybody's
and again,
online seeing
it just
what
shows you
everyone's
where
doing.
advancement can actually hold back
Development.
100%.
Totally.
So let's go on to think about how that day's experience relates to your role or your community as a CLD worker. So I suppose taking it back to Scotland, like what connections did you make with what you saw yesterday and what we do?
Yeah, I think for me those morning sessions are what I think our family learning should be like. You know, I know Emily's doing that from a literacies based thing, but you know, if we introduce parents into the mix with that, then you know, hearing a story, doing an activity, there's the bit of learning together, doing something productive together, and then you can expand from there. And we've almost, I guess, moved away a little bit from that, and it's probably a time and resources thing, but I think some of it's probably confidence for some staff to, you know, be able to. I know it's really difficult to follow Emily and her animated stuff, but
we like to practice because that's the way.
But you can do those
kids
things
will
in
want
your
to come.
own way. It doesn't need to be.
No, but like you say, that was literally a book and some paper, and that took up an hour and whatever, and the just the questions about the book didn't necessarily, the book wasn't really the thing, it was just questions and engagement, and
I think that's it, it's the comprehension, isn't it? So the questions she's asking really when she's reading we use Brenda's The Sheep as the example is real comprehension, actually, have you understood what I've said, have you understood what you've heard? And even with the older ones, with what
decisions are you making?
Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
It's about decision making and thinking. And she doesn't just read the story; it involves them in having an opinion and stuff like that, which is the.
Brenda's going to get some airtime in Aberdeenshire then.
Brenda definitely is.
Well,
we have to get a lesson from Emily.
The key with what Emily was doing is she was aware of what level of books and activities were right for that age group or that stage maybe. Whereas we thought it was maybe a little bit too babyish, and
100% I said the same. Like I was like, "Oh, this book, is this what you want to read?
Yeah.
This is older kids," but actually, obviously, she knows the kids, and it was clear that it was the right level and the question. But it was the way she made it short, sharp, and what was the story? What was this? What was that? And they were all like, even I was struggling with, what was his name again? So they were like proper engaged, focused, listening, which again. Back where we're working, it's really hard to keep the attention of kids.
But we're maybe missing a lot of that because we're pitching it at the level that we're sort of expecting rather than some of the
level that they're actually
possibly.
Definitely, and like if we were doing our family learning with that sort of engagement from the kids, they'll be like, "Oh, I want to go again," and then you slowly get the buy-in from the parents, which is obviously a bit harder for us, as we know. So.
And I guess on that note as well, we have fallen into the trap, haven't we, of predominantly doing family learning in the holidays. And so actually the reality is we need to be doing it term time because you keep that engagement going. We have the guilty...
It's like hook in the holidays because you know that you'll get the engagement and you're hoping to build a relationship to be able to do the term time thing, and there's just something...
there's a barrier.
I think we go back to term time. These are the things we normally do. We're all busy with them, whereas we don't build in the time to continue that
Although
thing.
it doesn't seem like they're engaging with parents that much
No,
here either.
no.
No.
No, I would agree. I think we'll probably only see that at the kind of the community staff probably in Chaka.
Yeah.
But we can see how doing that exact thing,
Yeah.
and
Well,
including the
Phil's,
parents, would work for us.
Yeah, definitely.
And maybe that's some of the learning actually we can share back with Emily is, we're not really doing what you're doing, but actually we can see the benefit. And have you thought about the family stuff? Because not every child's parent will be interested in learning with them, but some
There's
will.
parents coming to the compound, isn't there?
There is,
So
yeah.
it'll be interesting to see the dynamic and the...
And we'll probably
energy.
see parents in Chaka tomorrow as well, because it's a small community in Maasai land. So there'll be. I hear that we're getting a lunch tomorrow as well, just for everybody. So I don't know what that means, but there might be chicken soup.
It means pack stuff and maybe hide it so that you're not offending anybody. Because I always wonder, anyway, that's not
Yeah.
Well, it is, because it's like one of the questions is about ethical considerations that arose during your work today. So it is about,
Well, that was the coffee
respect,
thing the other
difference,
day. I don't know if you noticed, but we was being offered coffee, and I didn't want to offend by saying no, thank you.
Just take it and pass it on.
I genuinely just don't drink coffee. But
Yeah.
then I was like, am I going to offend her? But I didn't want to waste it either, because I know things are So I was really torn there about drinking the coffee.
If in doubt, just slip it to me.
I know, and that's it. I think my experience when I was telling you guys last night about the chicken soup thing is just take a little, just say you're not hungry or whatever. But somebody else will drink it or eat it or whatever. I think for me, I don't know if anybody else heard the conversation when we suggested at the end of the day yesterday that we might want to go out for a couple of beers and some food. That there was much conversation about where was appropriate and safe for us to go in Yeri. So I think there's some of that, probably because we're wearing shorts as well, and definitely because we're white. But it would seem that my opinion would be that Yeri is less exposed to white people than places I've been previously, and I think also
I think a lot of it was because we're women as
well. Yeah, women too.
Women white and in shorts.
But I also think, obviously, tomorrow we've been pre-warned about legs
we have asked questions and got some replies, about the female situation.
Yes.
And you asked about, do I need to cover my arms or my legs or so.
And I think generally day to day it's okay, but like I said, when we go to Chaka tomorrow, Emily's already indicated that covered legs. And no overexposing in the top department. But it's the sensible type of things that we don't necessarily consider, because we'd all be out in shorts and t-shirt at home if it was hot as it is here. So